Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here this morning. We'd like to make a couple of announcements. In particular, the first one is regarding initiative by government for those people who are currently receiving through the Ministry of Women, Children, Poverty Alleviation a number of benefits. Given the extent of the damage caused by Cyclone Winston, government, with the approval of Prime Minister, of course, has taken on an initiative and wishes to announce today that for the next 3 months, the people who currently receive the benefits will get a top-up on the benefits that they receive. So just to put into perspective, there are currently 43,624 people that receive, or households, sorry, I should say, that receive benefits. They are, in the first category, under the Poverty Benefit Scheme, 23,035 homes that have been registered to be families below the poverty line. And they are spread, of course, throughout Fiji. We then have, under the Care and Protection Scheme, 3,257 families, and these covers children who are looked after by single parents or by guardians or grandparents, etc. Then, of course, the third category are those people over the age of 68 who receive $50 a month current pension, in particular those people who do not have a pension from FNPF. We would like to announce that a lump sum payment to the people of the households in these categories will be made next Friday. So all those people who currently are under the Poverty Benefit Scheme, or people living below the poverty line, the 23,035 families, they will receive an additional $200 a month for the next 3 months. So in other words, they will get a lump sum of $600 being paid to them next Friday. This is, of course, on top of their normal payments that they will get. This will equate to about $13.8 million, which will be a payout to them by next Friday. So they will get $600 top-up. The families that receive the care and protection allowance for children, both in who are young babies or maybe in primary school or secondary school, they will receive an additional $100 a month for the next 3 months, which will be $300 they will receive next Friday also. This equates to about $977,100 that will be paid out to them. And then, of course, we have the 17,332 pensioners who are over the age of 68 who currently receive $50 a month. They will receive an additional $100 a month for the next 3 months, and that will be paid in a lump sum as $300 to them next Friday also. This equates to about $5.1 million. In total, the payout, of course, is $19.9 million that will be paid out next Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very critical that we look after those people who are below the poverty line, those pensioners who receive a current pension, and of course those families that are looking after children, because the reality is that many homes in Fiji have been hit very adversely, and some of them quite catastrophically, and they do need the assistance. And we believe that this type of assistance, a guided assistance, a focused assistance to these individuals and families will be of great benefit for them. And as opposed to spreading it over a few months, we are going to pay them lump sum, because obviously if your home has been blown away, or if your school books have been damaged, or you need material to move on with life, you need these monies in a lump sum. So this is why these amounts of money, as I mentioned earlier on, are being paid. So those under Poverty Benefit Scheme, they will receive additional $600 next Friday. Those under the Care and Protection Scheme will receive an additional $300 next Friday, and those under the Social Pension Scheme will receive an additional $300 also next Friday. We ask people to use this money wisely. Please, this money is being given to you and to your families and to your children for them to be able to use it in the right manner, for them to be able to use it for the basic necessities of life and to help you and give you a leg up in life so you don't get left behind. Please do not use this to buy grog or cigarettes. We have seen some abuse of people. We've heard reports of some people who have perhaps been assisted a lot by NGOs and also at the same time may have also received government rations. Some of them we've heard are selling it to shops. So we've in fact seen some packages that were given that are now ending up in shop shelves in the Western Division. If you cannot use it, please give it to people who can use it. So in the same way, this is government is putting a lot of faith and confidence in these families and these individuals and saying to them, we are giving you this money lump sum, please use it responsibly because we believe that there are many, many Fijians who do need this assistance. The other aspect, of course, is government has decided to give it across the board as opposed to saying we'll only give it to people in Northwest Viti Levu or Lomai Viti, because there may be people, for example, who may have been in Singatoka whose homes may have been blown away, or somebody in Nosori. So that can become a cumbersome administrative exercise. So in this way we're giving everybody an opportunity, those people who are living or gaining a source of income from these protection schemes and these various poverty schemes that have been and social schemes that have been allocated to them. Please note that this is only for those people who are currently under the scheme. The Ministry of Women and Children and Poverty Alleviation already knows that, and the Minister will soon be making those comments.
This is a targeted assistance to the most vulnerable groups in our community who fall under the social protection programs. Mentioned the poverty benefit scheme and the care and protection allowance, and of course the social pension scheme. Again, a word of advice to the beneficiaries, because we are going to make a lump sum payout next week. A simple advice would be to use this assistance wisely, as you've heard that there are many others who need this assistance, and this is a targeted assistance to the beneficiaries of the social welfare protection programs. Again, we will be making releases through the media as to how the money is to be utilized, especially in terms of sending the children back to school, buying essential items to get them up and about their daily living. And if I may also mention that this assistance is just a top-up. The normal monthly assistance that they get in terms of the food vouchers and the payments will continue from next month. This is a one-off payment for 3 months. The amount is for 3 months, but we will be paying it out in one lump sum by next week Friday. Because we've said 3 months, there might be some misinterpretation that this will continue for 3 months. No, this 3 months allocation will be paid out in one lump sum, hopefully by next week Friday. We have to make arrangements with the bank because this is a special payment, and we will try to ensure that the money is dispatched by next week Friday. Thank you.
For the poverty benefit scheme, we have 23,035 recipients. They will get an additional $200 a month. In other words, that works out to be $600 a month. So they'll get $600 paid into their accounts next Friday. You have 3,257 recipients under the care and protection scheme. They will get an additional $100 a month, which works out to be $300, which they will get paid next Friday. There are 17,332 individuals who get paid the social pension scheme at $50 a month at the moment. They will get an additional $100 a month, which will be, of course, $300, which they'll get paid next Friday. We believe that this lump sum payments, purely in cash form, will greatly assist these individuals to rehabilitate their lives, to help others if they want to be able to help others, and also to buy and access the basic necessities that they require. Okay. Thank you. I've got some other announcements, Minister. We'd also like to announce that we have now relaxed the importation rates or duties on 2 major items. So applicable from henceforth until the end of April, all importation of sawn timber and plywoods will now only attract a 5% duty, and the import excise duty on both the items will be fully waived. Of course, you have to pay VAT, but the duty has now been reduced to 5%, and there won't be any import excise duty. Similarly, the duty has now been reduced for electrical cables or insulated electrical conductors, as they are called. It's been reduced from 32% to 5%, and the excise duty has been reduced from 10% to 5%. So it's 5 plus 5. As you know, the reason why we have the excise duty is because of we have a local manufacturer. But the reality is that we do need a lot of electrical conductors. There's a lot of damages. A lot of people want to rebuild their homes. There's a lot of major cabling that needs to be put in place. So both of these items, the duty waivers will be enforced until the end of April to allow people to be able to import these very quickly, to rebuild their homes, to rebuild their businesses, to rebuild their factories if they have been affected. And of course, this will end at the end of April. We'll do a review of it at the end of April to see if it needs to continue. However, as you can see from these 2 announcements, the government is looking at very targeted measures in terms of providing assistance. So the social benefits that are being provided, they are very much targeted. We already have the data. We already know who the people are. So there is a lot of integrity around the dispensation or disbursement, I should say, disbursement of these monies for these targeted groups. Similarly, with the reduction in duty, it's quite specifically targeted because there's a shortage of electrical conductors, there's a shortage of timber and plywood in Fiji. So again, it's been targeted to make it a lot easier for individuals and also for companies and individuals to import directly if they so wish to do. The only issue is that, of course, they have to meet all the standards. The electrical conductors need to meet the standards that have been imposed by the Fiji Electricity Authority and the Department of Industry and Trade. Please, we urge people not to go and buy conductors that don't meet the standards, otherwise you can have fire. You of course need to import timber and plywood that meet the biosecurity requirements. You cannot bring in timber that of course may have some parasites or any other alien beings in them that will be harmful to our ecology, to our biodiversity. So they will have to meet those standards, and of course biosecurity will ensure that it is. Generally we find, of course, plywood and sawn timber generally do get treated, but you have to be able to ensure that it meets those standards. So again, ladies and gentlemen, these are very targeted assistance that we are providing. We of course urge companies that are going to import these items for retail purposes to also keep your margins low. We'll be keeping an eye out on that too. This is not a time to try and be greedy. It's not a time to try and take advantage of the misfortunes of other people. It's a time to be able to all work together and assist. We are not saying people cannot make money or have margins. They can, but don't be ridiculous about it. We had a situation that I was shown an invoice that there's this thing called razor, which is used for making roofs, and they bought it from RC Manubai in Ba for $6, and a hardware store in Tavua was selling the same item for $20. The difference of $14 between Tavua and Ba, and the distance isn't that great even between Ba and Tavua. So these are the kind of shenanigans that's taking place, and we're keeping an eye, as you would have read in today's papers, that you had a supermarket in Field 40 in Lautoka where they were given 2 spot fines within a space of a few days, and then allegedly one of the owners of the store then proceeded to physically assault um, the Fiji Commission staff who went and imposed those spot fines. Again, this is unacceptable behavior. Of course, the matter is before the courts, but we'd like to say to all businesses that please keep your margins reasonable, keep your margins low. This is a time that we need to be able to get the economy back on track, and the way that you can do that is to increase economic activity. When you increase economic activity, you are able to then get more people employed, get more people back on their normal day-to-day living. Just as an example, when the tsunami had hit a few years ago around Aceh and the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka had been hit from the northeast coast all the way down to the southeast and along to the west coast. They lost 150,000 lives in that tsunami. But the economy bounced back within a year, and at very, very high rates, higher than what it was even prior to the tsunami. And today it's in one of the fortune rating companies, the 3rd or 4th best place to visit in the world. So there's of course opportunities that we can present, that's presented to us, as long as we're able to unify and work together as a nation, and everybody understands that the fortunes of the country is not just simply made on how you can make a big sale in just 1 or 2 months. It's a long-term prospect that we need to look at, and everybody needs to think that way. This morning we had a meeting with the TAG team, the Tourism Action Group at the Holiday Inn, where a number of the key industry stakeholders, including those who are related to the industry, including banks and various other service providers, whether they're manufacturers, etc., had come together. And there is a new campaign that's being launched overseas, in particular in Australia and New Zealand, to ensure that we do not drop off on our arrival numbers. So this is very, very good opportunity for us, ladies and gentlemen. Whilst there is a tragedy, we now need to look at the future, and we need to look at how we can use this opportunity to build a much faster growth rate on the backs of what has happened. The other announcement, ladies and gentlemen, is that Digicel has been issued its license. As you know, it had purchased Sky Pacific, and its license came into effect from yesterday. They have been given 3 licenses. Of course, they need 3 licenses. One is the broadcast license under the TV decree. They've been given a spectrum license under the regulations of National Spectrum Decree, and they've been given one special license under the Media Industry Development Decree, which, as you know, gives the ability, following the amendments last year to the Media Industry Development Decree, for a foreign company to operate in this particular area of broadcast. The license is a 12-year license. Of course, the license is subject to the digitization process that is currently taking place, like all the other TV licenses. There's a number of features in the license that is probably of significance. They cannot advertise on Sky Pacific. Normal advertisement cannot take place unless all the 3 free-to-air providers agree to it. So all 3 of them have veto powers. Only if and when all 3 of them agree, then they can carry out local advertising. Otherwise they cannot. And of course they cannot make any payments to them. And the Ministry of Communications will be keeping a lookout for that. There is no local content, of course, as you know, as was provided for under the decree, unless, of course, the issues such as natural disasters, when these messages need to be sent out. There's particular service level commitments. So built in within the license, if the Sky channel goes off air, they have to pay a rebate to the subscribers. So if they are off air for 4 to 8 hours, there's a 1% rebate. 8 to 16 hours, there's a 2% rebate. 16 to 24 hours, there's a 3% rebate. And plus there's an additional 3% for every 24 hours that the particular service is off air. There are 24 channels. Most of them are the existing channels that you have, except of course you have a new channel coming in. It will be called TV1, WAN, which is general entertainment. You have Super Channel, of course, MTV, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, ESPN, History, Lifetime, CI, FYI, Toonami, Warner TV, CNN, Net Geo Wild, BBC, Star Plus, Colors, Set, Z, FX, Fox Crime, Fox Family Movies, NHK, and Trinity. Should there be any new channels that they wish to provide, they'll of course have to get the permission of the Director of Communications. The standards that have been set by the Media Industry Development Decree, such as advertising to children, pornography, etc., all of that still will apply to them also. So all the standards that have been put in place under the Media Industry Development Decree will apply to this particular licensee also. Thank you.